Alright, a documentation of what is federal stalking. It's Title 18 conduct that's occurring on the venue of the internet. It is evidence of it. The current time is 3:19 p.m. and with simultaneity to my waking up and the entity is engaging in the P.O.C. relative position. This is in chair light, framing the front door, concentrated at the ceiling. Completely impossible light activity. Very demonic. The same light that's framing the front door as it was on video at 9 o'clock in the morning. Have nothing to do with sunlight. In this environment, surveillance is underway on the internet as well. And the entity is monitoring everything that I'm doing online, including as I do it, including waking up. This is watching Dateline live 24/7, where ads don't interrupt the show. Dateline includes commercials and it's live 24-hour feed. Immediately as I wake up, the Dateline that's been running for hours uninterrupted is now interrupted with an ad. I'm pausing it in order to record it. This is the entity that's not conducting any legitimate investigation. This is the entity that's engaged in stealing my content, suppressing it, and is still engaged in monitoring. I'm going to prosecute the government for keeping me under surveillance with the people of the state.
No matter what defines you as a pro, precision separates you from the rest. Shark Bite Max.
Amazon Home Appliance. This is probably one of the easiest outdoor security cameras you'll ever install. It's wired and waterproof, connects to Wi-Fi and has 4K resolution, full color night vision with a spotlight, motion and human detection with an alarm to scare off bad guys, rotates 355 degrees horizontally and 90 degrees vertically, and supports auto tracking, two-way audio,
get out of my yard,
SD card slot for internal storage, and has no monthly fee.
Okay, this is going to go back into the regular show, which is Dateline, which doesn't have any ads interfering in the feed. It is indeed live, and it's been live for hours with no ads. The moment that I wake up is when the ads interrupt, and I want to be clear. Let me give you some sexual context. The government that is monitoring, that is a sex offender, the entity that's a bunch of demons who are monitoring, are engaging in what is those two commercials are engaging, first of all, plumbing. That's a reference to sexual activity, unwanted sexual activity that the two sex offenders, Tracy Banks, her sex partner Jason Isaac Fields, this is somebody that's not a legitimate government actor that's engaged in what is monitoring, spiritually attacking, pleading for sexual activity with me while he's a sex partner of Tracy Banks. They're both engaged in targeting. Plumbing is a reference to sexual activity, and also the next ad regarding cameras. This is the entity that's engaging in what is monitoring subliminal messages through what are the ads, which is used to monitor you. That's also a means of harassment. It's not entertaining. It's something that is relevant to psychological torture. It's something that's relevant to ongoing surveillance. This is something that the government is engaging in, and the entity is doing it while it is unwanted as well, and I'm documenting it. The interruption with ads pertaining to what are subliminal messages regarding sexual activity, and the fact that I'm subject to surveillance, given an ad about cameras and whatnot. The entity that's watching, the entity that is also again engaged in and interested and obsessed with the idea of sexual activity with me. This is the same venue where the entity is engaging in what is ads referencing pubic hair, a reference to the genitalia, ads interrupting in areas where ads are not typically arriving in the feed, in order to reference what is the summertime, where the entity is engaging what is referring to the fact that I am documenting the fake sun. This is the personal and very unique messaging of the entity that is gang stalking and engaging in surveillance on the venue of the internet. I'm going to prosecute the entity. This is indeed, this is indeed YouTube. So that's what I wanted to zoom in on. And the old people at Woodside Senior Apartments are indeed gang stalking. It's currently 3:23 p.m. and the entity is amplifying audible activity. Tracy Banks is gang stalking in relevant position. She's monitoring with the amplified noise inside of this unit. She is aware of what I'm doing. The entity that's monitoring on the video internet is the single entity that's gang stalking. This is the surveillance that's underway in the United States that I'm exposing. And I'm gonna go ahead and include the documentation of the fake sun, because the entity had the fake sun over me. When you're looking at, this is impossible light activity, entirely demonic. This is aimed from the ground. right? So at some vantage point, the sun is so low that it's also aiming light that is at a downward trajectory. This is the amplified audible activity that is coexisting with impulsive light activity that has nothing to do with sunlight. And it is also traveling up and around the ceiling. This is entirely demonic. The entity is engaging in what is the P.O.C. of stalking with noise and stalking with light. And the demon-possessed are doing so pursuant to specific knowledge about what I am physically doing, waking up. This is where the fake sun was, where the elderly woman, the Latina woman, and they were walking over to the vehicle 9TAZ076, and that was where the fake sun was right here. That was during the 9 a.m. hour, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. It is currently, like I stated, 3:24 p.m., and the position of this fake sun also has nothing to do with the position of engineered light that's reaching on the inside. Let me zoom out for you. Because what's not going to happen is sunlight piercing into the apartment at a downward trajectory onto the floor and also framing the inside of the apartment along the wall and the ceiling. This is evidence of what are demons who are stalking by residents while they're monitoring. And also, this is what is the entity that's engaged in what is surveillance online as well. This is the United States. This is the city of Ontario. The sun that's perfectly aimed on Tracy Banks' apartment that's sitting over her front door for, again, an additional 6 hours over the same front door. The entity is engaging in what is maintaining the fake sun at this time of year, including during the same time from sunrise till sunset over Alvarado Gardens, where I'm not going to get this angle of the fake sun, of the sun in the natural environment, and neither is in the natural environment is the sun ever in Florida, when one day documentation is showing 9 a.m. to after 3 p.m. This is not seen in Florida as well, as I'm standing at the same front door as I was at 9 o'clock in the morning, 3:25 p.m. And this has nothing to do with the engineered light that's inside of Tracy Banks' front door, along the ceiling, along the front, on the floor, and the inside in front of the front door, and flame going up the wall. This is the fake sun. This is the poor setting for where demons are doing nothing other than stalking with light. The sun is not causing that concentrated light that's on the floor like I showed you. And the demons inside of this building, all of them 49 through 64, are engaging in surveillance as well on behalf of the city of Ontario that was gang stalking with Linda Reyes at 9 o'clock in the morning yesterday. That was May 8, 2025, where she's gang stalking in that clubhouse. And the fake sun is right here. The entity is engaging in the pattern of conduct with the city of Ontario that's engaging in surveillance, and that's why the entity arrives in helicopter. And by arrive, I mean they participated in the elements of monitoring on camera, which is very foolish, and that's why Linda Reyes is going to federal prison. Linda Reyes is engaged in monitoring inside of this apartment as well, and the entity is engaged in surveillance on the venue of the internet. The positioning of that fake sun is totally separate from the maintenance of this concentrated light that is concentrated on the floor, going around the floor, up the wall, and around the ceiling. This is where surveillance is underway on the venue of the internet, very personal, and also in relevant position. Amplified audible activities, AVANATH Capital Management's engagement in the pattern of conduct, because that property management company is profiting from domestic terrorism and psychological torture, where the entity is maintaining the elements of This is engineered light that's concentrated on the wall while I open the patio blinds, and this is a covered patio, so this is shade, and this is going to never create, this is shade out here, and this is again light that would be on the ground, and then you have a concentrated light that's appearing on the, so just pay attention to that concentrated character that's showing the shadow of this same, again, metal fence right here, this metal shelf. He is indeed engaged in monitoring and interfering with the Dateline live feed as a mode of monitoring, surveillance, psychological torture, and it's also demonstrating impunity by the government that's also suppressing my evidence while I remain subject to it. Violent sex offenders like Jason Isaac Fields are engaging in this pattern of conduct and not conducting a legitimate investigation. This is all supporting what shall be orders mandating that the people of the state, especially those that I've documented by name, will never, without being prosecuted by under federal law for prosecution and subject to federal prison, come into contact with me, which is something that I will never consent to. I'm going to prosecute all the means of surveillance and invasion of privacy by the government, which is doing it through the people who are living under a fake sun because they're engaged in surveillance. And that fake sun is nothing other than recognizing the fact that they're all stalkers and they're demon-possessed ones, while engineered light and monitoring on the venue of the internet is also evident. This is P.O.C. It is currently 3:28 p.m. This is where the demon is stalking in the path, unit number 55, right above me on the couch where engineered light is present. And as you can see at November 6, 2025, 4, she is gang stalking. She's walking along this sidewalk in the Ontario Police Department cross path while she is maliciously gang stalking me on foot under the fake sun that's right here at 12:15 on November 6, 2024. And she is gang stalking still right now, stalking with amplified noise. And no elderly person that's inside of the apartment above you is going to create what is the ceilings and the walls crackling. That's called audible activity. She's stalking right above me in the living room, and you know that because the fake sun is here and engineer light frames the front door. She's gang stalking with Tracy Banks as well. This is the entity that's engaged in that P.O.C. While you see that impossible light, and that sex offender is monitoring my vagina as well, along with every other co-defendant inside of units 33 through 64 who are subject to prison, and that's also why Linda Reyes is going to federal prison. This is P.O.C. Linda Reyes is acting with documented impunity with the Ontario Police Department, who's also engaging in impunity with the mentally ill who are stalking with light, stalking with amplified noise, which is demented behavior of human beings who are engaged in criminal surveillance, and that psychopathic personality disorder, obsession with strangers, stalking them and monitoring them in a manner that's designed to result in what is supposed to be psychological torture, and also what is kidnapping in order to defame. License 5WB715, stalking in the path right here above me, and stalking while light remains inside of the apartment. And as I open the blinds, open the front door, and I'm showing you all the impossible light, all she's doing is gang stalking by residents and hitting the floor more often right now, which is monitoring the evidence against her, and also monitoring with the demon Tracy Banks right inside of this apartment, who's mentally ill as well. She's going to a mental asylum as well. This is stalking in relevant position in the apartment, stalking in relevant position in the ceiling, and all the demons in units 57 through 64 on the opposite side, the demons in units 52 on the walker, the two couples, the demons in unit 50, 49, the African-American male in unit 53, none of them responsible or capable of engaging individually, creating what is a crackling of the ceiling and the walls while they're walking around. So you are dropping a bowling ball while you know that I'm documenting you. You're doing so in a supernatural environment where the sun is sitting over the same front door for 6 hours. You're doing so when you're already documented gang stalk with the Ontario Police under the fake sun that's at 12:15 p.m. on November 6, 2024 on video. Her specific malice and focus on targeting me and gang stalking with the intent to obstruct justice is very, very well documented. And she is a sex offender as well, monitoring on the venue of the internet, not only documentation about her in particular as she's gang stalking, but documentation about her co-defendants such as Linda Reyes, such as Tracy Banks, such as Jason Isaac Fields, the government, the city of Ontario, AVANATH Capital Management. Daryl J. Carter will be prosecuted for criminal interference with quiet enjoyment as it's ongoing. It's 3:31 p.m. This is P.O.C. at Woodside Senior Apartments, where the entity is maintaining a fake sun over me. And as you'll recall, the documentation of Gabriel Arriaga Carbajal, when the fake sun is remaining over me, and March 30th, 2024, while I'm inside of my bedroom, I'm capturing that video at 3:38 p.m. 3:32 p.m. There's no natural environment where Gabriel Arriaga Carbajal and the LAPD are gang stalking together while I'm looking outside of my, so you can see the time here, while I'm looking outside of my bedroom window, and the fake sun that you see over her living room window is coexisting outside of my bedroom window in Los Angeles. The two aren't happening at the same time, and that's where, by the way, the fake sun remained. Obviously, I kept capturing documentation of that throughout March, April, and May at the same time of year. The demon in Unit 55 is stalking with the intent to obstruct justice, but she's stalking as an entity, and all of them in Units 33 through 64 are going to prison and mental asylums for their openly demonstrated mental illness that they keep closeted while they engage in gang stalking with the government as a routine pattern of conduct in the state of California. The mental illness that's exhibited by one is the mental illness shared by all while they're engaging in that pattern of conduct in the specific environment and with impunity that's demonstrated in this video again. This is P.O.C. It is currently 3:33 p.m.